How about making an easy milk bread at home that's just as soft and fluffy as the ones we buy at the bakery? This is a recipe that always works. That's why it's included in the Panela Terapia cookbook, which you can buy at bookstores all over Brazil or through online stores. In the video description, I'll leave 2 links. The first one for you to get the ingredients for the little breads, and the second one for you to buy the book. Now let's make our little bread. Put 250 ml of warm milk, 2 eggs, 2 tablespoons of sugar, half a tablespoon of salt, and 5 grams or half a packet of dry active yeast into a blender or mixer. 40 ml of soybean oil and 1 tablespoon of margarine or butter. Blend just enough to mix. Let me give you some tips to make your bread work. First, the milk has to be warm. It can't be hot. Hot milk burns the yeast. Warm is when you put your finger in and it feels comfortable. It doesn't burn. So that's how it should be when you use it in bread and cake recipes that call for warm milk. Second, the ingredients should always be at room temperature unless the recipe calls for cold butter or something like that. So leave everything at room temperature. The yeast used in the recipe is this one here, the instant dry yeast in a packet. If you want to use fresh yeast, use 15 grams. Let's continue with the bread. Pour it into a large bowl and add wheat flour until it doesn't stick to your hands. Shape the bread however you want. I prefer making balls. What about you? Place them on a baking sheet, leaving some space between them. Cover with a damp dish towel so they don't dry out. And now it's time to let the bread rest so it can rise. Cover with a damp dish towel and leave in the oven with the heat off. If you live in a slightly colder region, like below 21 degrees, the ideal is to heat your oven at maximum temperature for 20 seconds. Then you turn it off and put the bread inside. This helps the yeast to work. After 45 minutes, the bread should have risen like this. For this recipe, you shouldn't preheat the oven. Set your oven to 180 degrees for electric or 200 degrees for gas. Put the breads in to bake. Baking time is a tricky thing to say because it varies a lot depending on the oven brand. So ideally, you should keep an eye on it. When they're golden brown on top, looking like bakery bread, they're ready. While our bread is baking, it's time for you to click the subscribe button to become part of our community that loves to cook. And if you're watching on your phone or tablet, that same button will be somewhere on your screen. Don't forget to leave your like too. If you like this recipe, let's see how our bread turned out. This recipe made 24 little breads, each about the size of my palm.